just call it just a game. In Wormwood, we do this weekly thing to get to know each other, where one person will get a spotlight in our internal newsletter. And when Bobby had asked me, he's like, what's your favorite game? I was thinking, like, well, you know, I really enjoy poker a lot, but I don't get to play it that much. And I love chess, but, like, you know, for where I am, like, I was really good at chess when I was young, but I certainly haven't progressed to being, like, a good, you know, 37-year-old man at chess. Like, I'd just be like a simpleton if I went in and played now compared to somebody who's been playing for the last 20 years. I'm, like, really thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, it's Magic. What am I even thinking about?
Yeah.
Like, of course Magic's my favorite game. It's not close. It's just such a part of my life that I almost didn't even think about it when someone's like, oh, what's your favorite game? It's like, oh, it's my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, I've got a gaming accessory company, and I buy and sell Magic cards. Like, that's like, it's all encompassing in that way, that it's hard to imagine, you know, the path of my life without Magic the Gathering. It really is, because of the financial side, because of the trading side and how social that is. It really is an amazing game, and I don't think anything really rivals it. When you look at the market that exists around Magic cards, it's so big and it brings so many people together that it really is a unique phenomenon, even though it's been imitated so often. Even a game like Hearthstone, I play it, I enjoy it, but it's just a fraction of what Magic is, in the sense that, you know, how often do you sit down with a total stranger and then, you know, get somebody a card that they've been looking for the last 20 years? You know what I mean? Like, get somebody the final piece of power, like what that means to somebody. And even just like trading standard cards, where it's like, oh, I want to move out of this deck and this other person wants to move. That mutually beneficial interaction is just so powerful and positive that it's you can't really disconnect that from just the action that we see here on camera. You know what I mean? It really is a game that is more than just the strategy, you know, at the tournament. It's the preparation and the testing and the trading and every element of it. It's such an impressive thing to have kind of emerged almost by accident. You know, Richard Garfield coming up with a game that's cheaper to print than what was it, Reilly? I don't remember what his.
I believe it was.
Yeah. What his board game was, and they're like, oh, we need something cheaper to print, and he just, you know, just kind of failed forward and came up with this idea that just really changed the gaming world.
Yeah, I have to agree. I agree with you 100%. Magic is so important. It's so important to me in my life. I've got to say, like, when I think about Magic, I think about my life. I think, where would I be without Magic? I would say probably a good 80% of my friends are people I met through Magic.
Yeah, most of my
and some of my best friends.
Yeah, most of my new friends. I mean, I've got friends from before Magic. I'm a bit older, so like I have friends from like before Magic was printed. But yeah, most of my recent friends. I mean, even Wormwood came together because I was running a vintage Magic tournament. So,
all right. So we have right here. We have it. The finals. Yeah. Ben Reilly versus Brandon Smith. Two spectacular local players. I know them both. I've played with them both. Great guys. Ben is on the play because he is second seed. Ben goes fetch, shock, seer and visions. The trickies. Goes draw, scry. Now we could see something completely insane here. It's very possible we could see a turn 2 win from Ben 2 games in a row. It's a possibility. I've seen it happen at the Titanium Challenge event. It happened on his on-camera match. 2 wins.
Yeah, he has to be happy about going first here and having a little bit of card selection. I mean, that's probably about as good as he can hope for, other than just having the combo on board in hand.
Yeah, if Ben has a turn 2 combo, then Brandon has to have a 1-mana removal. He has to have a 1-mana removal spell in the top 8 cards of his library, or he dies. That's just it.
It looks like he's going to be able to keep Spell Snare up, though. That is another card that's going to keep him in the game.
Ooh, but Ben goes for another Seer and Vision, so he's not going to go for the combo this turn. He's just going to try to sculpt his hand.
Find a second land, it looks like.
And that's Brandon has actually kind of wasted this shock. He had to do it anyway, but so it is. All right, so we see a land pass.
Now that is a watery grave, correct? Is that life total?
Correct.
Need to be at 18 there?
Yes. Yes, Brandon is currently at 18. Ben
there we go.
Is at 17.
Caught up, and then a steam vents, I believe.
Yes. There's been a shock into a shock.
That bolt is golden. Oh no.
Ooh, he doesn't want it. I think he has. He thinks he needs He has too much already. All right, so
Well, he does have a terminate.
Ben goes land pass. I think Ben is setting up for the long haul here. He wants to go for broke. Possibly trying to set up a turn where he can cast 2 Shram and Pure Steel Paladin cards, so he can assuredly go off. We could strict Brandon's mana.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to cast multiple terminates in the same turn.
Yeah, he would need to go something like Terminate, Spell Snare, or Terminate, Fatal Push. Alright, so Ben fetches up his 1 of Sacred Foundry tapped. Yet another way to cast his Grape Shot in cases where maybe there's a Stony Silence in play. Maybe his Mox Opal got Surgical.
Yeah, it is unusual for a deck running so many artifacts to not care that much about Stony Silence. I mean, it is very relevant to shut off the Mox Opals, it seems, but the rest of those artifacts, I mean, they could basically be blank most of the time.
Yeah, the vast majority of his cards could just say 0 mana, equipment, equip for 0, do nothing. It could just say have the words do nothing on it, and it would still be just as relevant to him. So Brandon takes a fetch, finds a tapped Steam Vents, and then goes to his untap step. He's going to play land, and he's going to get the threat. Play that Delver out. Back to Ben. He's going to draw.
So it looks like he's got Terminate and Spell Snare open.
Very good position for Brandon right now. I think game 1 does not favor Ben because he does not have his Silence in. He really needs to have Silence in to prevent all that removal from interacting with his combo.
Yeah, I will say in this matchup here, it seems like Silence is going to be stronger compared to the Death Shadow list that really just comes out swinging. I mean, a turn 4 Delver is not much of a clock. And,
yeah.
That's really given Ben a lot of time to set up.
All right, so he is going to go for it here. We have a Pure Steel Paladin. Brandon's going to take a peek.
He's going to get at least 1 card draw off of that unless he decides to Spell Snare.
So Brandon is thinking about it. There's 1 on the stack. On the stack, there's going to be a Terminate, and so he does not draw a card off this. But then there's going to be a Shram, and then there's going to be a Spell Snare.
Oh, I see. The Pure Steel is when it enters the battlefield.
Yes, yes. The Pure Steel is the one that has with end of the battlefield and the equip clause, where Shram is a trigger.
Cast trigger.
Yeah. Shram also a legendary, so you can't play 2 at the same time. So Delver is unfortunately just a fugitive wizard, so he's going to come in for 1. What are some other notable 1/1s for 1?
Vanilla 1/1s for 1?
Vanilla 1/1s for 1.
That gets tougher. Boy, there's really...
The only card I can think of off the top of my head is Fugitive Wizard.
Yeah, I mean, Scornful Egoist is the other way around, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then, let's see, there are plenty of 1/1s for 1. We've got Mother of Runes. That's a good one.
Oh, sure. You tack some abilities on there, and you're happy.
Yeah.
Right back to Alpha with Llanowar Elves.
Oh yeah. Okay, things not looking great for Ben in this game 1. Seems he is drawing dead. He found a
No
you see the fist pump from Ben. two damage coming in.
Yeah, that is a 4 damage swing. We've got the split card.
Yes, he has the additional retract effect with his retracts. Really doesn't have a whole lot going on. Needs to find another Pure Steel Paladin or Shram very quickly. But we do see in Brandon's hand he has a Fatal Push, so there need to be running Shrams off the top here. Ooh, and a Kolaghan's Command? Oh no.
That's rough.
Ooh. And here we have a Gurmag Angler. So it does not matter if Brandon is incredibly unlucky and cannot flip these Delvers. That Gurmag Angler is going to come in. Alright, so he's going to go pick up my artifacts.
Now, what is the not flashback? What are they?
The aftermath. On that?
Aftermath, yes. What is that for that card? Is that relevant in this matchup?
I do not know if it is. Give me a moment for that. I will be able to tell you.
Oh, it looks like he's finding out now.
He is aftermathing it.
Looks like he's discarding 5 cards.
It's
going to do
Wheel
5
of
damage?
I think.
Just never draw them.
Ooh,
To
yes,
draw that many.
it's
Okay.
Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yes. He gets to discard 5, draw 5. Reset his hand. And then just passes the turn back. So, it's going to be a Colligan's Command. Deal 2 to you, discard a card.
And a flip will do it.
Flip will do it. I think a flip doesn't matter, right? Because he can just activate that tar pit. So Ben will lose game 1. Game 2 gets a lot better for him. So let's take a look at their sideboards. Let's see. It looks like we have some pretty good sideboard cards. On Brandon's side, we have Collective Brutality. We have Engineered Explosives. Engineered Explosives actually pretty darn good here because he can put it on 0, hold up 2 mana, and then in response to a retract or the other retract effect, he can crack it, destroy all the 0 drops, so that that could prevent Ben from continuing his combo on. And then on Ben's side, obviously, the 4 silence come right in. He wants to try to just stop any of Brandon's disruption and just go off unabated. Definitely, probably think about Echoing Truth too. Be able to deal with hate cards that way. Maybe the Dispel.
Yeah, this seems like a very difficult match from here on out. Ben certainly has draws that could make it look very easy, but silence plus your enabler and then something to get the ball rolling is a lot to ask. Really adds a whole nother card to the combo, essentially.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about the combo though, is that he has so many 0 drops in his deck, and they all just say draw a card.
Yes.
Every single one of them will just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. I think it's definitely possible that Ben is able to consistently fire this combo off. It's just a matter of, can he draw the 2 pieces at the same time? Can he draw the land? Can he can we draw 3 lands? Our Shrem effect, our silence, and enough 0 drops to go off? That is the question. It's going to really require a lack of mulligans on Ben's side. That's the most important part. Then on Brandon's side, he's just looking to jam in some more counter spells, some counter squalls, a little bit more removal. As you can see, Brandon's side in about 5 cards. Doesn't need too many, he thinks. Sat out a couple of one-ofs here and there through his list that are a little ineffective. But Ben gets the play again here, which is very good for him.
Yeah, Collective Brutality is concerning, given that Ben's really going to need to hold things back until he's ready to win, and that's really right where you want to be.
Yeah, being able to collect Brutality, if Brandon's able to Brutality away, say, a retract, that can just be backbreaking. Or maybe if there's a situation where Ben just has to jam out one of his Pure Steel effects early, a situation where it's a 2-for-1, a 2-for-2, via a Collective Brutality, kill your guy, and rip a retract out of your hand, would be absolutely just game-ending. That is the way Modern goes, though. Some sideboard cards can just be so impactful and can just shut down the game right on the spot.
Both players do look fairly calm, given the stakes here.
All smiles here. Ben and Brandon both greatly enjoying their time here. Both very jovial players, great players. Neither. I have honestly never seen an element of really getting overly upset at a game of Magic from either player. You see some players and they get quite quite perturbed with losses. Not Ben Reilly, not Brandon Smith. They maybe there'll be a little bit of sullenness, but they bounce back very quickly. All right.
We're trying to figure out the scry situation. Looks like it's not going to happen.
Right, so we have a play land pass. And land pass goes for fetch. Just going to find a hallowed fountain tapped here, most likely.
And he has the potential to win on turn 2. The
Yes.
only card that can disrupt him here being Spell Snare.
Spell Snare, the actual only card that Brennan could have. It's the only card he's representing, too. So you got to assume that Brennan has it. Ooh.
He's got the Grape Shot, which, as we saw,
Naturally draws Grape Shot.
can lead to some shenanigans.
Oh, all right. He just had the Thought Scour.
Losing is that a Collective Brutality and another Thought Scour?
A Fatal Push
Fatal
and
Push.
another Thought Scour. So he just goes, Tar Pit Pass. So he needs, like, most definitely needs that Spell Snare here. And he does have it, yeah, as we can see. Just flashing to the right side of his hand.
And we are now in Silence territory as he
Yeah.
gets to 3-4 mana.
Though, as we can see in Ben hand, he has some Mox Opals, some Zero Drops, a Paradoxical Outcome. He does Pure Steel and a Noxious Revival as well, though. Interesting. And we have another land pass. Ben draws, finds another Zero Drop. So something interesting Ben could do here is he could play out all of his Zero Drops and then just end step a Paradoxical Outcome on Brandon Smith's end of turn to go for a draw 3. Which looks like that's his plan here. Though Brandon's hand is loading up quick. Counter Squall in hand. Has Terminate. Has Fatal Push. Has the Spell Snare. Though he has to get a threat out pretty soon. Because the more time he gives Ben, the more time Ben has to find a silence. Just gonna
Cards that actually deal with silence. It looks like we only have a Cryptic Command, 2 Remand, Mana Leak, because the Spell Snare is not touching it.
Yeah, the
That's
counter
it.
squall post board, which we know he's brought in, that can answer
Dispel.
it. Dispel potentially. All right, so that's a Tasker, and then we're gonna go for Paradoxical Outcome. Target his 3 artifacts. I think Brand is going to no-sir this with a counter squall.
Drawing 3 here would have been absolutely amazing. So it was definitely wise to shut that down.
That goes on untap. I'm gonna try that again. He says I'm gonna put that on top of my deck in my upkeep. And Brand says okay. And he goes, all right, I'm gonna cast it again. Draw 3. 1, 2, and 3, and we have found
his
silence plus Shram. Ooh, things could go very badly for Brandon Smith next turn. All right.
Yeah.
Attack with his Tasker. Smash him for 4. Ben going for the end step fetch. Grab a land.
Brandon currently has him, depending on what he fetches here. He's at 9. He is representing 7 damage on board.
Though
It is a tense.
I do not know if Brandon is going to have another untapped step, though.
It does not look it.
Unless
that's mana leak at the top there.
There is a mana leak there.
So he can mana leak the silence.
This is true. But then there are 2 Shram effects in Ben's hand. So there's going to be a mana leak on the silence. So silence is not going to happen.
Can let that go.
But then Ben's going to say, okay. Well, the question is, does he try for it? I think based on his low life, he kind of has to. He did not draw a 5th land, though, which is unfortunate. Because he's going to be forced to play out 3 artifacts here to activate this Mox Opal to play the 2nd Shram effect after one dies to a removal spell or a spell snare. But I think there's Fatal Push plus spell snare, so there might not be any way to go here. Okay, so he's gonna go Mox Opal, 2/0 drops, play this guy out. And Brand's gonna say, uh-oh. They'll push online here through this Bloodstained Mire. Goes equipping. Brandon gonna fetch and most assuredly push here.
It does seem like one of the tougher matchups for this combo deck. Reasonable clock, counter spells, and creature removal.
Yeah, it's just a 3-in-1 package here. Taps the top. I think. Ooh, so Brandon goes land.
Second Mox Opal.
Second Mox Opal.
Grape shots.
So grape shot. 2 grape shots. Target himself, and Ben shakes the hand, and this is over. Brandon Smith, your champion. Unfortunately, Ben failed here, but both players are now qualified for the end of the year Titanium Players Championship.
Oh, congratulations to both players. It was a very entertaining finals, despite Ben's side of the board not really getting there. It was always just a little bit outside. It could have turned the corner at any time, and that's the fun of combo decks is, you know, it can look like you're really behind, and then you turn the corner, and all of a sudden you're drawing half your deck. So it looks like a fun list. I may have to test that out.
It's definitely worth playing. Yeah, so you see Brandon and Ben Reilly talking about their sideboard plans. Brandon brought in 2 Counter Squall, the 1 Engineer Explosives and 2 Dispel, and Reilly bringing in the Brutalities and the Silences, as well as Nocturne Survival. But yeah, that was it. Finals. Brandon Smith, your champion.
Congratulations, yeah.
Congratulations to Brandon Smith. A well-deserved win. That's what's the great thing about this top 8 was that pretty much everyone in it was a great player and was deserving of their spot. Everyone played incredibly well throughout this entire tournament, and it's good to see people who really put a lot of work into it be rewarded for it and have like this just wide swath of attention now on them and on their play.
Yeah, and to see the variety of decks was also interesting. To see how Modern's in a place where you can have a combo deck, Delver strategies kind of spread out a little bit more than perhaps some people would think about some of the more competitive formats where it's kind of solidifies toward a single best deck. Even the aggro Delver, very, very different than that new Death Shadows list. I mean, they're both, aggro decks in a traditional sense, perhaps, but as we saw in how they played against the combo deck, one was very much able to pivot into more of a control route, where the other one was really more of a dedicated aggro list. So yeah, there's a lot of variety in Modern. It's fun to be able to see that in person here.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's the great thing about Modern. It's just how many decks are viable. I spoke to Zach about this yesterday, but Everything is playable. You can play combo, you can play tempo, you can play aggro, you can play a mid-range deck, you can play a control deck, you can play anything in Modern. And it looks like our champion is going to be coming in here for an interview.
All right, great.
So Zach and Brendan are going to be hitting the booth.
All right.
See you all later.
All right, guys. I am rejuvenated, and Brandon is the champion. That's yours, sir.
Right.
Show him the beautiful plaque. Brandon, congratulations, man.
Thanks.
You're the winner. Well, you gonna go to Disney World?
Maybe.
Not today, though, right? Now, you won with the Grixis Delver deck. You defeated Cheerios in the finals. That looked like a good match, but maybe not a hard match.
No, it's not that hard of a match.
Yeah. What do you feel like is your best matchup? It has to be some kind of combo deck like this, right?
Yeah, I was watching the match before. It was Tribal Zoo against Cheerios. I was thinking I have a lot of removal and a lot of interaction against Cheerios. And that should make it a good matchup.
Yeah, nice. Now, you're playing a Grixis Delver deck. Almost everyone we see playing Grixis colors is playing like a Grixis Death Shadow deck. Why did you choose this one?
I've been playing this for a long time, a few years now. I briefly tried Death Shadow, and I just did not like the way the mana base played, or the way you almost kill yourself and sometimes accidentally lose to Galvanic Blast.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. It seems like it's serving you pretty well. I really like how it's basically Grixis Shadow, but you take out these silly cards like Street Wraith, which late game is just actively bad, and you add cards that do something. Like you're playing Terminate. You get to play Cryptic Command.
Yeah.
You get to play Remand. You get to play these like little slower cards, but give you more play against other decks. What was your All-Star this weekend?
I actually added the one of Cryptic Command at the last minute, and
Nice.
that was great every time I do it. So I might even go up on that in the future.
That's pretty cool.
Two of.
So was this a meta choice, or have you been playing this quite a while?
I've been playing this quite a while. Built a list very similar to this right around the time Favorite Forge came out. Treasure Cruise got banned.
Oh yeah,
Been playing it most of the time ever since then.
that's awesome, man. Now, do you have like a local card shop? Where do you play usually?
I usually play at Jetpack Comics. Yeah. Sometimes I'll make a trip out to Double Midnight Comics.
Okay, and what part of the state is that in?
Rochester, New Hampshire, and Manchester, New Hampshire.
I wondered why Dylan said that he recognized you. That's his neck of the woods.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Well, hey, this is an awesome deck. If you were going to recommend this exact list to someone, what changes would you make? Would you change anything?
I would try to find something to add one more Cryptic Command. That card was just awesome every time I drew it all weekend.
Okay, fair enough.
Probably cut a Remand or possibly a Spell Snare.
And if you were going to not recommend this deck to someone, what local store metagame wouldn't you want to play this in? What are the terrible matchups for this deck?
Scape Shift has actually been somewhat of a problem. Sometimes you don't really set up a fast clock, and you just don't have enough interaction for them. Burns about 50-50 matchup maybe.
Okay, so if there are a lot of mountains in your local meta,
Yeah.
don't play this. Fair enough. Well, you're qualified for the Titanium Finals early next year now. Congratulations. I hope you win it, man. This is a cool deck. Do you see yourself playing this 6 months from now still?
Yes.
Nice.
Some version of this.
You can't get all those expeditions and not play them, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, man. Congrats, Brandon Smith. Your winner.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. We're going to get Eric back in here real soon. The reason why we're getting Eric and not Dylan is because we're moving to Legacy soon. I know his preferred format. Not going to have to worry about what Jace Architect of Thought does. We're we're going to be looking at Jace the Mind Sculptor. Definitely the better Jace Planeswalker. That's going to be coming up soon. Now, we are right towards the end of round 1 of Legacy right now, so we're either going to get a feature match on camera for you, or me and Eric are just going to talk about the Legacy meta. That's what it's going to start out as. Dylan is going to be on the floor today doing deck techs, doing interviews, both visual and text interviews, so check out those on mtgtitanium.com and our YouTube channel, TJ Titanium Series. That's what he's going to be doing today. We'll tag him in. If you miss Dylan, don't worry, we'll tag him in at some point. Give myself or Eric a quick break. Now, you just saw Brandon Smith on camera. He just won an invite and a 1-round bye to the Titanium Finals. That's early next year. The runner-up, Ben Reilly, after trying so hard, so many times, he top-8'd multiple Titanium challenges in store. He finally earns his invite to the Titanium Finals. Again, early next year, but he does not earn the 1-round bye. Still, almost as good. Congrats to Ben Reilly. Sam Richardson, who came in 3rd place, also qualified, not from his performance today, but when he won February's Titanium Challenge in store. So congrats to Sam Richardson as well. And everyone who made some money this weekend, 32 players at 160 cashed. Pretty good conversion rate. A lot of money given away, a couple invitations given away. And it's not over, because we have Legacy. We have 2 PPTQs going on today. We had one at 9 a.m., and for those people who couldn't get off work in time, who maybe bust out of the first PPTQ, we have a second one coming up later in the day, 1 or 2 o'clock. Now, these PPTQs hosted by local stores. We are a firm believer in partnering with local stores. Tom Shea and TJ Collectibles not out to put the local stores out of business. Don't worry about that. We want to work with them to promote their events so we can all grow in turn. So if you're a store owner, you want your store to get involved with Titanium, talk to your store owner. Talk to the person who runs the events. We run Titanium trials in partnership with local stores that earn you free invitation, or rather free entry fee, into a Titanium Plus event. So if you're interested in that, talk to your store owner, the person who runs your events. Have them talk to Tom Shea or Gil Medeiros or myself. We can hook you up with that info pamphlet. Now, we're going to get Eric back in the booth real soon, and we're going to talk about the Legacy meta as a whole. He's going to break it down for me and you at home who probably are not as experienced as Eric in Legacy. Plays every single week, like he said. Scholars Games, a huge Eternal store out in Brockton. So without further ado, let's get Eric back in the booth. Here he comes.
All right.
Eric.
We are going to see some Legacy today.
Yes.
What you can